Russell Westbrook and LeBron James both had triple doubles last night, and they both had wins. Russell Westbrook got his 100th triple double. LeBron James, just another day in the office, had a nice triple double, a nice win over the Suns. One thing that is kind of killing me about the triple double is it is a bit overhyped. You gotta remember in February they said LeBron James averaging a triple double for the whole month. Everybody was like clamoring over it. Is this the best we've seen ever of LeBron James? Only to forget that last year Russell Westbrook averaged a triple double for the entire season. Only to forget from that, the only player that's been able to do that was Oscar Robertson. But Russell Westbrook had more triple doubles than Oscar in that season. But then you figure this: the Big O, he averaged a triple double for, because back in the day they didn't round up. If whatever numbers, if you had 9.7 assists, it was 9.7. They didn't say it was just 10. They didn't just average it out. Like today, if you average like 9.5 or 9.3, whatever, they'll be like, oh, you averaged a triple double for the season. Like today is a little different. But back in the day, like if you had, 8 rebounds or 9.7 rebounds, they said you averaged 9.7 rebounds. So Oscar Robertson, if you really look at his numbers, for over 4 seasons, he really averaged a triple double. Like 4 straight seasons. They just didn't round up back in the day. All this triple double talk and how it affects the game and how it makes you perceived in the eyes of your teammates doesn't really mean much. It's overhyped and overblown. I'm gonna explain this to you. LeBron James averaged a triple double in the NBA Finals. His team went down quickly and unceremoniously in 5 games. It was a quick 5 games. It wasn't a long 5 games. It wasn't competitive besides game 3. And game 4, basically the Warriors gave it like a gimme, like whatever. But they went down quick, fast, in a hurry, with LeBron James averaging a triple-double. The same year, last year, Russell Westbrook averaged a triple-double not only in the regular season, in the playoffs against the Houston Rockets. He went down quick, fast, in a hurry. LeBron James, this season, in the month of February, was averaging a triple-double. His Cavs had like a 6-6 or 2-6 record. All that triple-double talk doesn't mean anything. If it doesn't translate into wins, it doesn't mean anything. Everybody loves the stat, and I love how great it is, how great the players can show you that they can affect the game in multiple ways, how they can rebound, this, that, and the third. Great. It's great for the game, on an individualistic level. That's amazing. Shows your talent. Shows that you're an amazing player. But if it doesn't translate into wins and losses, who cares? That's why when people criticize like a Kobe or a Jordan, even if let's just say they will criticize like a Bill Russell or whatever the case is, and they'll be like, well, his numbers don't match up to this guy's numbers, or LeBron's numbers eclipses Jordan's numbers, or he will eclipse Jordan's numbers. What are the only numbers that matters? Wins and losses. And wins and losses in the highest level. When it comes to playing on the highest level, the only thing that matters is wins and losses. So we're talking about finals, championship losses. Sometimes people mention stuff like first round losses, whatever. But we're talking about the highest level, on the highest level, highest stages. Does the triple double, is that what's getting you past the other team? And I'll say in more cases than not, we have evidence of a lot of players that master the triple-double, like the Big O and stuff like that, and they don't have the hardware to show for it. So you guys can say like, well, these guys average triple-double, or this guy can get a triple-double, and it's impressive, but let's not make it seem like that's like basically winning a title or whatever the case is. It means that you are multifaceted in the game of basketball. But in the game, there's only one thing that you have to do: win the game. So I just don't want it to get overblown. I feel like, first of all, like when they were said LeBron is averaging triple-double for the first time in his career in the month of February, it was like crazy. And then I thought about like, wait a minute. Russell Westbrook just averaged a triple-double last season and in the playoffs. And this is what we're talking about? And then was like, wait a minute, before that, Oscar Robertson really averaged a triple-double for like 4 straight seasons if they rounded his numbers up. So is this what we're talking about? I think it's a bit overblown. I feel like it's basically a guy that's like, move out of the way, I'm gonna do it all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna trust my guys to rebound. And that's just my personal opinion. I feel like even though it's great for the team in a sense, but if you don't win the game, it doesn't matter. Like in terms of OKC, if Russ averaging a triple-double is what got them in the 4th seed, last year got them in the 6th or 7th seed, then I would rather him not average a triple-double, do something else that can get his team higher seeding. And that's winning the game. Just winning plays. That's all I care about. I don't care about the numbers. Look at the stats. Look at the stats. Like Nick Wright. Look at his stats. His stats say this. What's the only stat we're looking at right now? Wins and losses. That's what's most important. Wins and losses. Not a triple-double.